Hey everyone, Luke here from the Capital City Bourbon blog. Welcome to another episode of the Capital City Bourbon Show here at the lounge at the one and only Market Square Liquor in Tallahassee, Florida. It's a beautiful day here. It's about to be even more beautiful because we are here to drink some amazing whiskey today. I'm going to turn it over to my man Alex Patel, and he's going to tell you all a little bit about what we're drinking.
Today we're going to be sampling and reviewing a full line of the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection.
Oh boy.
Sweet.
We're going to have a William LaRue Weller.
John, do you know what year that Weller is?
That's 2013 at the time, and maybe still. That was the highest proof Weller they ever came out with. Came off the top floors of the warehouse. Good one.
All right.
We've got Eagle Rare 17 from summer of 2019, so that's the latest release.
Love that Eagle Rare.
Absolutely.
Thomas Handy Sazerac.
All right.
That's hard. It's not impossible to find.
A George T. Stagg.
Mercy. Big boy whiskey.
And a Saz 18 from spring of 2016. We've been holding on to this one for a special moment.
Papa says. All right, gentlemen, you ready to drink some of these amazing whiskeys?
Yep.
This is
Where are
going
we
to be
starting
a
from
trek.
today?
It's on you, Alex. You get us going.
You know, I say we start with the classic Sazerac.
Papa says. All right. This is, I think, one of the only antique collection I have not tried yet. So I am excited.
Just pass it down.
Thank you. Here you go, John.
Thank you.
All right. And you said this was a 2016 Sazerac?
This is a 2016 Sazerac 18-year-old from the 2016 release of the Antique Collection.
Oh, that's.
What do we know about the Sazerac? Is it 100% rye? Is it?
I believe so.
That's a beautiful
I know
note.
it's their version. You know, it's named after the Sazerac cocktail from New Orleans, but it's a rye whiskey.
It's got a lovely nose.
Yeah. I mean, it's really nice, soft rye spice. Really rich. Ooh. Yeah, I was drinking the baby Saz a couple days ago.
Yeah.
And it's reminiscent of that. It's that. I think the general profile is the same, but you can tell this is just so much more complex. It's got more heat there, just a lot more kick all around.
What is the proof on it?
90 proof. So it's got really good flavor and all around boldness for a 90 proof, you know.
Yeah, it's got a lot more burn than I would expect for 90.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be more than that.
I figured on taste that was at least 100, 110 proof. So I can't believe that's coming in at 90.
Yeah.
Same here.
That's amazing. But coming from Buffalo Trace, you know,
They
to be
continue to
surprised.
amaze.
I mean, only they can do that.
That's delicious rye.
That is.
No question about it.
All right. Well.
My sense is it may have a little bit of corn in it. It may not.
Hey, well, we'll go ahead and edit that out. Sorry, folks.
You know, the next one, since we're on Saz, we might as well go to Thomas Handy next.
All right. Here you go, good sir. You are the maestro.
So, you know, Thomas Handy was the first bartender in New Orleans to use rye whiskey to make the Sazerac in the
Interesting.
1850s or so.
A little later than that.
A little earlier than that?
A little earlier than that.
Little earlier than that?
Yeah.
And Handy is also responsible for Peychaud's bitters, I believe. Yeah, that's his other claim to fame, I think, was that he actually developed Peychaud's bitters.
Wow.
And this is a 17 year on the Handy? Or does it have an age statement?
It does not have an age statement.
Okay.
And what's the proof on this one?
The proof on this one is 127.5, so
all
it's
right.
coming in pretty high octane.
That's my kind of whiskey.
Well, I'm getting the.
It's
just
bottled
fruit.
straight from the barrel, so it's not cut at all.
Perfect.
Getting a little bit of citrus on this one. It's a little bit
Right on the nose.
more Spritey than. You know
Wow.
it's strong.
Ooh.
It is, but like all big boy Buffalo Trace products, it's so smooth. It drinks so easy.
As tasty as it can be.
Yeah.
I mean, that does not challenge you at
I
all.
think with like 3-4 drops of water, maybe 2 or 3, it would just taper the heat off just a little bit to enjoy those notes a little bit longer.
When you talk about leather in a bourbon, it's here.
Yeah,
you can get that leather. You can get
I
that
agree with
oak
that.
in here.
Personally, I like that better than the Papa Saz. You know, that Papa Saz had that heat that was unexpected, which was nice, but this, I'm getting a sharper rye spice on it. The citrus was nice. Gave it a little pep on the nose.
Yeah.
Overall, I'm surprised. I think I prefer the Handy.
I think I'm with you on that. I just like that boldness of this one.
Strong, bold, good for sipping, right? As you say.
Ooh, boy, a little water.
Yeah. We're going to clean the palate in between these tastings.
Got to.
All right.
That one required it. What would you give that one? 1 to 5.
1 to 5. I mean, it's hard not to just say these are all 5s already, but
no, there's nothing wrong with that.
It really is. I mean, you talk about a whiskey that delivers so much, and I mean, obviously we're just doing little pours because
Right.
you know you can't drink these bottles like they're nothing. This is $6,000-$7,000 worth of whiskey here, so we got to be reasonable.
Yeah.
But I feel like with both of those, I could spend a good hour on each pour.
Easy.
And just
Easy.
working through it and trying to pull out all the flavors it delivers. And I mean, I think they're both 5 so far.
Well, I mean, you know, just as a testament to the antique collection, all of their bottles pretty much every year are winning. I think in 2019, every one of these bottles in the LA International Spirits Competition and the SF World Spirits Competition won gold or silver. And I think, you know, the Ryes were just competing against themselves for first and second place. And even, you know, up to the Eagle Rare, I think Jim Murray's got it at 98 points in the Whiskey Bible. So, you know, they just did an exceptional job across the board on this one.
And you know, each year when they put these up, we were up there once when they were putting away the 17 Sazerac is 17, is that right?
Yep.
And they were putting that away when we were up there one day, and we went through the process with them when they were taking it out of the barrel. No, I'm sorry, when they were putting it in the barrel and then rolling it to the warehouse. We went into the warehouse with them when they were putting them in there.
No kidding.
So each year they'll put them in a different place in the warehouse. So you're going to get a little bit of different expression from one year to the other because each year they move them and store them in a different place in the warehouse, and they look for those different expressions. But it's the same great juice or whiskey.
Yeah.
Wow.
John, you got some amazing stories.
Well,
I think
They've got
next,
some amazing
you know,
stories.
while we're on the high octane, we might as well finish it off with this 124 proof George C. Stagg.
You don't have to twist my arm. Is this a 2018? Can't remember if we said that.
I
or
think
not.
this is the 2019 release of
Okay.
George T. Stagg.
and what's the proof on this one?
124.
George T. Stagg is just known throughout the industry as the big boy of big boy bourbons.
Oh, Stagg. Yeah, that's, I mean, not to put too fine a point on it, but that is what I want to smell when I nose a whiskey. Just big, all around. Rich. I mean, it's hard to nose this. I just want to start drinking it. As much as I
Yeah.
love nosing a bourbon, you smell it and it draws you in. And
You get the vanilla and the leather right on there too, like you were talking about, John.
Mm-hmm.
oh, wow.
You know, that one's got some proof on it.
Yeah. You taste it, but again, so smooth, so easy drinking. I mean, it's not hard to drink this neat. I mean,
It's very nice and caramelly, and from the nose that you get, this is another one of those that you think it's going to burn on the way down, but it's just so sweet. It's got a full, warm mouthfeel.
Yeah, it's almost like a dark caramel, a dark chocolate. It's just
Maybe a little hint of toffee in there.
yeah, I think you're right.
I think so.
Listen to you, Alex. I think you are right.
yeah, wow.
And just, I grew up having a sweet tooth, so I can recognize all the candies.
You're not the only one. I mean, this is
And the amazing thing is that it all comes out of the barrel.
Yeah, this is another one of those that are
It just comes out of the
not
barrel.
cut,
with all those
single barreled.
nice taste.
straight to bottle.
it's amazing to see when you're tasting it, uncut, unfiltered. All that, like you said, John, it's all coming from the wood. I mean, all these rich, complex flavors. The dark chocolate, caramel, the fruits, the spice. That's all developing from the wood.
Yeah.
That's really amazing when you think about it, and just what that charred wood does to that whiskey as it ages.
Goes in there.
The
as
wood,
white dog,
the air, the
solid
temperature.
white.
You know, it's just a special location over there on Buffalo Trace.
They know what they're doing, don't they?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, that's another one you could spend an hour with.
Yeah, I mean, any of these.
Just one shot.
Yeah.
It's
You
got to
could
have
sit
different
an
different
hour.
expressions over the next 20 minutes. 100%.
We might have to go back to that one.
You know what, John? You are a man full of good ideas, and I think that's a good idea.
We might have to go back to that one.
All right, well,
We're 3 down out of the 5.
and it just so happens that Eagle Rare is just sitting right there.
Sitting right
I
there.
mean, I feel like we probably should just reach for that
Let's
next.
just go ahead and do it.
This is another one I have personally not tasted, and
This is
I am
one of my.
excited.
I'm a really partial fan to Eagle Rare. It's a really good bottle. They did a good job with it. This one's 17-year-old, and it's 2019's release of the antique collection, and it's at 101 proof.
all right.
What are these things going for on the secondary market?
This bottle alone, I think, is around $2,000 a bottle on the
That's
secondary
funny.
market.
My physical therapist said he had a bottle of Eagle Rare he'd been meaning to get into, and I said, well, what is it? He said, well, it's a 17-year-old from around 2002. I said, well,
You tell him it's no good, he should just give it to you.
Yeah, tell him you'll do him a favor and take it off his
said,
hands.
that bottle may be worth a little bit more than you paid for it in 2002.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, ooh,
You do love your Eagle Rare.
I
don't
do
you?
love Eagle Rare, and I've always
John.
been curious about 7 extra years in the barrel, and all that's going to come out of that.
Well, there's your answer, bud.
That nose is.
There's your answer. It found a lot more oak than your regular Eagle Rare. It's just a grown-up Eagle Rare.
It is. I mean,
It's
it
no
has,
longer a baby bird.
it has that same profile, sweet, smoky, but wow, it's just so rich. I mean, it's like syrupy almost, and again, I do not taste any proof in that.
No, there's no bite. There's a little bit of warmth, but you wouldn't know this was 101 proof
No.
off the rip.
I mean, that is so easy going down. That's a dangerous whiskey. I mean, if
Yeah.
I could,
Letting this one just pour neat and sit for 20 minutes, and then start sipping it a little
Yeah.
bit. This is, every one of these bottles is you can spend an hour on a pour, and it's going to nose different every 15, 20 minutes, and it's going to change the taste.
Absolutely. And folks, if bourbon is your thing, you owe it to yourself to come up here and get a flight of 3, or just pick one day and one the next day or the next week. But go through this Buffalo Trace Antique Collection, because you're tasting some of the best bourbon that comes out of those stills up there in Kentucky.
Absolutely.
It's absolutely the best. And why not give it a shot? Because it's here and you won't find it.
It's also
in
probably
many
at the most
places.
reasonable price in the country.
Oh, you think?
100%. I mean, we've looked at, we want a price to get people more people should be able to try these things, right? And even in bars in Louisville, you could pay upwards of $100 to $200 for a pour of any of
That's
these.
right. That's right.
You know,
go to
and-
Huskin, Charleston, and
Yeah.
any of those places like that. Some of these Miami bars charge an outrageous
Yeah.
amount.
I think
If they've got
ours range between 35 to $60.
Yeah, but you've got it. Many of those bars you're
Yeah.
talking about don't even have it. Certainly not all.
Let alone a full set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And going back to 2016 and 2013, for crying out loud.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I,
absolutely.
I'd wager you would have a very hard time finding another bar that has the flight over such a range of years.
Yeah.
I mean, they may have the flight from one year, the 2019 and 2018. This is going back all the way to 2012, I think we said, or 2013
2013.
on the Weller. I mean,
Yeah.
that's hard to find.
And people seem to accept the fact that some of these scotches are going for $1,800 or $5,000 or $6,000 or $7,000 for a bottle. But those of us that like bourbon, it's just got such a better taste on the palate as far as I'm concerned. And so these are the best of the best when it comes to bourbon, and at a fraction of the price that the Scotch drinkers are paying for their high-end Scotch.
Absolutely.
And so you're getting a better whiskey, if I may use the word, in my opinion. And you're getting it even when you're paying 40, 50, 60, $100 a shot for some of the very rare stuff.
Yeah.
It's a very good buy and an opportunity to taste some of the best bourbon in the
Absolutely.
world.
Well, and you know, with these, some people may say, oh, $40, $50, $60 a shot, that's so expensive. But if you're a bourbon lover, like we've been saying with these, you're talking about $50, $60. You're going to be drinking that for an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to be sitting there. If you're truly a whiskey lover and a whiskey fan, you're going to want to pick these apart and spend time with them. Drops of
Experience the
water.
various expressions.
Yeah.
Exactly. Enjoy
Yeah, I
a
mean-
nice cigar.
And you're not going to find them in the liquor store.
No.
I mean, because when they come, they're gone. So if you get them, you're going to get them on the secondary market. And if you wanted to put together a deal and go out there on the secondary market and buy these 5 bottles today, you'd be dropping what?
Probably $6,000 to $7,000.
Yeah, at least, yeah.
6 to
At
7
least.
grand for these 5
Yeah.
bottles.
And I mean, you're going to
And
have to
that's
source
not
it, but you're not
exaggerating
going
at
to
all.
find a complete collection, even over multiple years like
Yeah.
this. You're going to have to source that individually. That's a lot of man hours hunting and looking for those bottles.
I know. I spend a lot of that time trying to do that, and it doesn't work. So,
As do I.
you know, that's why I was so excited to be here today for this, because I have a couple of these, but it's taken so much work to try to get my hands on them for not even reasonable prices.
Yeah.
They're just that hard to find, because people are willing to pay, for that Eagle Rare 2000, this
I
Weller
think High
2000.
Horse is trying to say something.
Yeah, I think we're talking too much, and our glasses are empty.
Well, let's. We've been working our way up in proof. What was the last?
This is
one?
a weeded whiskey, right?
It is a wheated whiskey. As a matter of fact, the first wheated whiskey. Some people think that was
'Cause he-
Maker's Mark, but this was actually the fellow Wyler is the guy who came up with the wheated whiskey and started using some wheat instead of corn or rye. And he came out with this in like 1789 or 1799.
Oh, yeah, that's whiskey right there.
And this one's 136.2 proof.
At the time, in 2013, that was the highest proof they ever came out with. So it obviously came off one of the upper levels floors. And I think it may still be the highest proof Weller that they've ever come out with.
That is,
So when you're talking about the opportunity now to buy a barrel proof Weller, which if you're lucky you might see one somewhere in the country, this is aged, and it is 130 something proof.
ooh. Yeah, I mean, you get that heat in the
When you
palate,
got
but
this in 2013, what's the age statement on this?
I think I'm not sure it has an age statement on it, but let's see if it does. I'm thinking this is up around 17 or 18 years old.
So then add another 7 onto that.
Yeah. I don't see an age statement on it, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Now that needs a little water.
yeah, I mean, there's heat there.
Yeah, well,
It's,
what is there heat? Let's go 1 drop,
1 drop.
2 drops. 3 drops. Let's see what that does to it. I mean, that proof on that one just kicks you into
It's,
boo-honey.
it's got some nice. You get that sweetness from the wheat. It really comes out. It's almost citrusy, but you get that spice and the leather on the back end. That's really where the bite comes in.
You're exactly right.
Yeah. Wow.
Did you put some water in?
I did.
I did 1 drop.
No, I don't think one's enough.
I love it.
That mammy is a kid.
I love that burn.
drops.
That is
3.
what I go after.
I did 3. What'd you guys do?
I did 2.
You did 3? I think I did 3 or 4.
I mean, that drink's hot, but that's
It's
okay.
and it lingers too. It really kind of, you feel it on the lips after.
You keep working on that water, getting it in there, and it becomes candy.
Yeah.
I mean, it is candy at about 4 drops on it. And really good candy.
Best candy you ever had.
You bet.
Me.
Oh, I love that. I love that with a little bit of water on it.
You talk about a long finish. I mean, I think that's the definition of a long finish. I mean, that just stays.
Still finishing.
Yeah. I mean, that. I don't know if I can say I've had a bourbon with a finish like
I
that.
think you're exactly
I mean, that just lingers in a good way. It's. I don't know how they do it.
It's strong
but
and bold.
Yeah.
that's something special.
I'll tell you what, if you get that one, just keep adding a little bit of water till it turns into candy. And it turns into a nice, heavy, dark candy that's just as sweet as it can be.
Mm-hmm. All right, so what do you guys think? What's your favorite out of the lineup we got here?
I'm going to surprise you maybe a little bit on that. I know you're a big Eagle Rare fan, but I think if I had to just pick one, it would be the Handy, and Stagg would be my second, a very close second.
Alex,
one I'd like to spend some time with.
Honestly, I think I would put Stagg at 1, Eagle 17 2, and then maybe like a 3-way tie on the rest.
Yeah.
It's hard.
It's tough.
But wouldn't it be fun, and I'm waiting anxiously for yours, but wouldn't it be fun to do like a 1 ounce pour of each one of these guys? And
that would be fun.
Spend a couple hours with it.
Yeah.
At least 3.
Maybe 3 hours.
Maybe 3. That's an afternoon commitment.
Yeah. I'm free.
You're up for that?
I am up for it. No surprise if you know my palate for whiskey. My number 1 was that Weller. I love that heat. I love that finish. Just you take a sip of that, and you're still a couple minutes later. You're still dealing with it. That's my type of whiskey.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you.
It'll sit with you for a while.
I can't disagree with any of them.
The Stagg.
I've still got the Weller on me, and I'm getting black licorice right now.
Yeah, it's
top of
still
my mouth.
there,
Yeah.
and that's impressive. I think I'd have to go Stagg second. I'm a big Stagg fan, and I guess that's no surprise. But something I am surprised, I think my third's going to be the Handy.
Yeah.
I thought the Eagle Rare would just blow me away, and it's, of course, delicious and a great bottle, but it just didn't have that big boy flavor that, I always look for.
Yeah.
Those other 3 definitely did.
Yeah.
I think they delivered on
Yeah, and Handy's
every
not
level.
something I would have thought about that much.
No, me either.
Of the 5, it's not one you think about or talk about that much.
Yeah.
But I was pleasantly surprised
Yeah.
as well.
I really thought I was going to favor that Papa Saz, but the Handy really stood out to me. I thought that
It was really good.
yeah,
It had a nice sweetness to it.
So here's what we need to do.
Uh-oh.
High horse thoughts.
Take the one that we each like the best and give us another little taste of that one.
Oh boy.
When it's the new year, Alex.
Get on in there.
Well, hand me that Handy, please.
You don't get handsy with that Handy.
Okay.
I'm just going to take one little sneak. Just a little.
There you go.
Just a
One
tad.
for the road.
Yeah.
Not that we condone drinking and driving.
One tiny one. And which one was yours, Alex?
I think I'm going to do the Stagg.
Yeah, you don't need to worry about drinking and driving. We all live here anyway.
I know.
So all it's going to happen
Well,
once we're
we
done, we'll turn
understand.
around and face the bar. No
We
different.
haven't had more than an ounce between us. Happy New Year again, fellas.
Cheers.
Good to be with you.
Cheers.
Well, everyone, thank you again for being with us. You know, one of the reasons we started doing this show is some of the underlying principles Market Square Liquors adheres to and the Barrel Team adheres to is that great whiskey is meant to be enjoyed.
Absolutely.
It's not meant to sit in the bottle. It's not meant to sit up on a shelf being looked at. It's meant to be in the glass and being sucked down. And secondly, great whiskey is meant to be enjoyed with friends.
That's right.
That's what this show is all about. That's why we're doing it. That's what we do almost every day here. So thank you for joining us. If you're anywhere near Tallahassee, come on by, sit down, have a cigar with us, have a drink.
1415 Timberlane Road.
Yeah, it's the only address you need to remember here in Tallahassee. The capital, all that good stuff, don't worry about it. Come to Market Square Liquor. Enjoy a drink with us. You know you can get these. Take a look behind me. You'll see the Pappies and all the other good stuff you won't find anywhere else. We'll probably dip into that too. That's what we're going to be doing.
We're going to have some great videos coming.
And remember,
Great
the
reviews.
Bourbon Trail starts right here.
Right here in Tallahassee.
Right here.
All right, everyone. Thank you again for joining us. Cheers.